Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world. I'm Sara Jane, and this is Thoughtful Nuggets and Pearls on Gift of Healing TV. Welcome. Our topic for this program is, who am I to others? Let's start by the fact we are all unique. We are one in multi-millions. But who are we? Who are we to ourselves? And then who are we to others? And are there aspects of yourself? No, not are there. I genuinely believe there are. There are aspects of yourself that you show to different people. You show some aspects to your children, others to your parents, others to your siblings, others to your friends, and then other aspects to strangers. If you're somebody who gives a talk or teaches, think about your teachers at school. You saw them as your teacher. How many of us really saw them as human beings? We see our parents, certainly as a child, as our parents, our grandparents as our grandparents, and thinking of our grandparents as being old. How many of you who watch this are actually the same age as your grandparents when you first remember being aware of them? And you don't think of yourself as being old, but that's how children see us. So they see the more mature aspect of ourselves. But I think we also, as adults with young children, do let our inner child out to play, but also about keeping safe. So who are you to others? And that, I think, more than anything, depends on them. How they perceive you. How they have heard the words you've said. How they have interpreted your actions. So you say and do something with an intention behind it. And therefore, you know what you mean and why you're doing things. However, depending on the place, the individual you are sharing that with, doing it for, whatever, depending on where they are, what their interpretation of your intention is, of what you've done, it could mean some people see that as being somebody caring, loving, and kind, and somebody else could see it as being interfering, bossy, and various other. It depends on the individual, the other individual, not necessarily on yourself. And there are very definitely, it is about parents are one way with their children, and they will then be another person with their friends, and they will be someone else with their own parents. And they will be somebody else again at work. So people, it is very, very rare to see the whole of somebody, the whole of who somebody is. So I am different with my mother because there are things, and with my middle sister, because they're not as on the same wavelength as I am. But with my youngest sister, Jackie, she is on much more of a similar wavelength. One of my nieces is on a similar wavelength. But the rest of my nieces and nephews, some of them really aren't. And so it's being approachable by all of them, so therefore you don't necessarily share every aspect of yourself. They are aware. It's the same as a group of friends of mine. They are aware, but they're not into it. Other groups of friends, especially within the same world, the therapy world, absolutely we're all on the same page. May come at it slightly differently, as Jackie and I do, but that's us. That's who we are. with the different people. I think this was really brought home to me several years, quite a long time ago now, actually, bless, it's got to be nearly 15 years ago. The group of friends I have, lovely guy called Graham, and he was part of this group, and he was losing the use of his hands, which meant he could no longer drive. So I'd pick him up for going to group get-togethers. It was quizzing at the pub, night out, whatever it was. And he loved to dance, which gratefully the use of his hands didn't stop him from dancing. Graham and I got on like a house on fire. I could actually have a conversation like this with him that I certainly couldn't have with, I don't feel I could have comfortably with the majority of the others. But then Graham lost his battle and we lost him. And so a whole load of us went to the funeral, and he had 3 children, adult children. And we chose as a group to get photographs from all our get-togethers, fancy dress parties, etc. And we made a collage for each one of them of their dad. They loved them, but it was a side of their dad they never knew existed. Because to them, he was their dad. He wasn't the party goer. He was their dad. And this, I suppose, really helped me to realize that we do have many, many aspects to ourselves, but we don't show every aspect to everyone. I suppose we think about it, we try to have consideration to others. But we also have to remember the version of me that you created in your mind is not my responsibility. It is probably not my reality either. So that's fine. But it's realizing that. It is absolutely realizing that. And also another quote, make sure you don't start seeing yourself through the eyes of those who don't value you. Know your worth, even if they don't. And so it is also about when you are around certain people, do you let people get away with treating you badly? Because if you do, by letting them get away with it, you are teaching them how to treat you. And it is important that we stand up for ourselves. And if somebody feels that the way you're being, and it may not be your intention, but if they feel that there's a bossy, a controlling aspect to you, then be prepared to listen to that and hope that you can talk it through. But it isn't about allowing other people to rent space in your head for free. I love that saying, I really do. So think about it. When you are with people, how much of the whole of you are you showing? And it's okay. To me, it is absolutely okay to not show aspects of yourself to people. There are things I can talk to my sisters about that I wouldn't necessarily talk to my parents about. Well, mum now, because we've lost dad. And there are things I would talk to my friends about that I wouldn't talk to my sisters about. And I'm sure my nieces and nephews feel they can talk to me about things that they may not share with their parents, which is lovely. But we have to realize that that's okay. Be all of who you are to you. But we don't have to be all of who we are to others. And how others see us is their responsibility, not ours. I hope that has given you some real food for thought. Thank you for watching, for joining. And I hope you will continue to enjoy these videos. There are loads of Thoughtful Nuggets and Pearls videos on the website, all free to watch, giftofhealingtv.com. Interview videos, meditation videos, exercise videos, panel discussion videos. Enjoy them. They're there to support you, to help you, to give you information. Next week, rules. And let's leave it at that. Have a lovely week. Love, peace, and light to you all. Namaste.